Okay, so this is going to be just a quick little demo on expanding a background or enlarging a background, whatever you might need to do. There's actually a lot of different ways to do this, but this is just a fun little like self-portrait I did in a mirror at a dance studio. But say for instance we need to make this like a widescreen 16:9 ratio. Start by using the crop tool, and it's set by default here as a 4:5. You can use the drop down, do this kind of thing, and then it will snap to the edges, but then you can drag this around. So if you still want to keep your subject centered, and then just click OK. Now, obviously we need to fill this space on either side. My favorite way of doing this, and this is going to depend on the image that you're working with, whether or not it will work for you, but it's just to use the rectangular selection and find a spot in here where, you know, you're not splitting an object or something else, but just create a selection that uses this space, and Control or Command on a Mac and J copies that to a new layer. Now once you have that, that's this bit right here, Control or Command T for transform, and then just hold the Shift key down and drag that across until it fills that space, and then you can click to accept that change. Now this does distort the image, but again, that's going to depend on what exactly you're working with, on whether or not that will suit your need. The other option, you can do the same thing, just create that selection, and I'm going to go just inside. You can see there's a little bit of a brick wall line right there. Again, Control J to move that up, and this time I'm just going to slide it across, and you can see, okay, there's this little bit of a difference because of the gradient across there. So to deal with that, you have to, I use Control Shift Alt E or Command Shift Option E on a Mac to paste everything into a new layer at the top. So it just created this new layer that includes all of that all in one. And I'm just going to use the healing brush and maybe the clone tool and come through here and, you know, blend all that back together. And the way I like to do it is when you have some of these lines, like the brick wall back here, I'm going to select the center point and then enlarge the brush and match that up as I go through here. And you know, sometimes if you go too far, it will pick up little bits and pieces that you don't want. And we'll come over here to get this one. With the pole, it's going to be a little bit more challenging. But you just kind of work things back and forth using that. You got to make sure you line it up until you get something that looks more or less like what you want. Now, I'm missing the line down there. I don't know if it will work if I come across here to grab this one or not. I'll try it. Sometimes now, see, they don't line up. Okay, but those are the couple of the quicker ways of doing it. Now, alternately, you could go, if we go back to the original layer, come in here and make a selection around your subject, and then do Edit Content Aware Fill. Now, this is going to work better on things like if there's a background of a wooded area or something with a little bit more randomness to it, because with the pattern that we've got going on with these brick wall lines, it's pretty obvious that we've, you know, filled that in and let the computer do it for us. But, you know, again, there's different ways of doing this depending on the image you're working with, so I'm trying to show you some different things. But then again, Control Alt Shift E, Command Option Shift E makes that a new layer, and you can just do the transform again, Control or Command T, and expand that out both directions, which again, we're stretching things, but that's not too bad because we're doing it evenly across the entire image versus that first time. So then we need to select our subject. So edit, select subject. That's me. And let Photoshop work on that. And you can just Control J to put that on a new layer, move it up above the layer that we created. And yes, you can see that there's some funniness going on there. So you just want to work like we did before with those tools to try and blend that all, at least in the parts that are underneath your subject. So something like that. And there's a little bit of funniness going on down there. There. So those are just a few ways of dealing with trying to expand the background. Honestly, the best way to do it is to shoot a background plate of the scene that you're working in before you even do the photo shoot. So once you have your lighting or whatever set up, just take a background shot without the person in the scene. So then you can use that to fill the space and or transfer anything around and make it the size that you need. So hope that helps. Let me know if you have questions, and good luck.